How's it going, everybody? And the 8th anniversary has been ongoing for like, I think like almost 2 days now. I think I can't really tell right now, but I already done my reactions to the animations of both the GT duos as well as the Manjibu Saga duos. I really enjoyed their animations. Their standby skill looks really fucking epic and cool, and I can't lie, man. The Super Ultra Spirit Bomb from GT Goku got me a bit emotional at the end. I can't lie. I mean, it was so. The ending cutscene on that, or the ending KO screen on it was just so shocking to me. I didn't think they were going to show off Goku dead and Pan crying and everybody all around him. I didn't think that was gonna happen. And then this one was just all happy go ever though. It was so cool. I really enjoyed all the animations that I saw, even for also the side units as well. Now, as far as like my actual summons went, I think I've gotten like 6 free summons and I've used over 900 stones. Let's start with this man because I only did one rotation. I did get Gamma 1, which was cool. I did get Gamma 1. I get a dupe. I know I got a dupe for Frieza. I do know that. And that's about it. This banner, both banners regardless, I've gotten complete shit on. I didn't get the new units just to keep it simple. I did get them. I did get my last dupe, so now he's at 100%. I got one dupe for him now, one dupe for him, one dupe for him. I bobbled 1 or 2, no, I think maybe 3. Yeah, I mean, it really does suck that I'm almost at 1,000 stones and I have not gotten the new units still. So, yeah, that's pretty fun. But anyway, so after I did all these summons and then I went to my bed at night to go cry to myself, I saw this on Twitter and it really got me thinking about stuff because I saw this, name one thing you don't like about Dokkan, because I was thinking about the pity system at one point because I was like, I'm over 700 stones and it's like, what if I use more stones and I don't get them? And I was like seeing what people were talking about, and then I saw people talking about people talking about the pity system, and I was like, let me look at this. And it really got to me thinking about, I've been playing this game for so long. What are some things that I really just don't like? And obviously I can't think of stuff on the spot right now. So I figure, you know what, let me actually read some of the tweets and such and see if I agree with them or not. But something else that I do also want to talk about before I get to it, and this popped up before I started recording about this. So this morning I got up and I felt like playing some Dokkan because I'm trying to get the new cards, yeah. But as I finished like the new virtual Dokkan Battlefield for the 8th anniversary edition one, I realized that there is not much to do during this anniversary. And let me throw this out. Obviously, if you check out my channel, I am not a showcased YouTuber. I am not guaranteed to get the new units. Like, I don't even have the new units at all, literally. I literally don't. So, and yes, I could use like those private server things and just show them off there that way, but I just don't feel like it, nor do I wanna. Maybe that might change in the future, but just right now, I just don't have it in me. So I don't have the units, so I can't showcase them. So, what's the point I was making about that? Oh yeah, so content-wise, as far as like showing off the cards, I can't do because I just don't have them, and I just don't feel like doing private servers. So then I'm like, okay, I am someone that just wants to have in general content, whether it's hard or not, just something to do. And there's not even much of that. And that's where I just want to start off with. I saw this Reddit post because I was like, am I the only one thinking about this? And it's titled, not gonna lie, so far the 7th-year anniversary part 1 is looking better than the 8th anniversary part 1. Post created by the Forever Virgin 12. What the fuck, bro? Let's read this. No new red zone, no new boss rush, no new IDBW. Oh wait, no, IDBH. Man, my head. What the hell? Which is Infinite Dragon Ball History. No new missions for the legendary events. Kind of worried, to be honest. Guess we'll have to just wait for part 2. Edit, new Shadow Dragon event is not the new Red Zone. If that were the case, we wouldn't have gotten a new Red Zone during the worldwide download and just the boosted events. And I kind of want to just, I really want to just talk about that for a bit, because I am someone that had a fantastic time with the 7-year anniversary. This is one of the only campaigns where I was smiling from start to finish and with joy at the whole time. Now, maybe that's a part of the reason is because I actually got both the units, maybe. But even when I didn't have the new units, the content that was just given out was, one, a lot, but two, also pretty fun. And with the contents that they were bringing back as well were some of the contents that I really enjoyed as well. So when we come all the way down to here, so here we got the new like red zone events introducing in this. And by the way, we're only talking about part 1 here. I'm only talking about part 1. I am not going to be talking about part 2, 3, the EX, whatever the fuck. I'm not talking about that. I am just focusing on part 1 because the anniversary just started. It hasn't even been like a full 2 days yet. I'm not talking about part 2. I'm just solely talking about part 1. I got to put that disclaimer out, by the way. I'm not talking about the entire anniversary. But aside from the new event, the new 2 red zone stages, we get a new Dokkan boss rush. We get Fighting Legends. Fighting Legends are events that I love. I love Fighting Legends Goku. I love Fighting Legends Goku GT Edition. And I love Fighting Legends Vegeta. They are, when I first did the Fighting Legends Goku for this game, it was honestly the most headache moment. It gave me the most headaches. But at the same time, it was so fun doing these challenges. It really got me to thinking and just having a bit of creativity with like making these types of teams. I thought it was pretty fun, honestly. And the fact that they've finally been bringing back missions after God knows how long, it was amazing. Because one of the biggest problems that I have with Dokkan, and it's something I'm gonna be talking about when we come back to this, is that once they release hard or interesting like events, they rarely use them ever again. And I'll get to that later on though. But as you see, Fighting Legends, is there anything else? And that's about it. And obviously we have the Dokkan class. And by the way, these missions, they give out a lot. It's not like just like these 1 or 2 missions. So which ones was it? Which ones did we get? There was a couple that we got. I can't remember for the life of me which ones did we get. Or was it just like 1 or 2? Maybe it was just like 1 or 2, but regardless, it was something. We come to the 8th year plus section, and by the way, yes, I already know there's these story things, which isn't really shit, really. Here are our new challenging stages, so we're not getting no new boss rush or anything. These are like our new challenging events. And obviously we're going to be getting more stages for them in part 2. The hardest ones are going to be in part 3, obviously, yeah. And then virtual Dokkan Battlefield. Excuse me. And then they brought this back, which is cool, but it's not hard at all. Well, it's not that it's also hard, but it's just you just complete it and that's it, really. The mission for it is just to beat it within 5 minutes and a couple seconds, and that's it. And that's about it. There's no new Infinite Dragon Ball stage or with missions. There's no new boss rush. They didn't bother to bring back any Fighting Legends missions or make a new one possibly if they wanted to, which is very fucking easy to, because it's not really the hardest thing ever to be doing. Is that especially for how they're just making hard events in general. What honestly is surprising to me even more is that for Red Zone especially, with how much they be bringing it back and be putting out more missions for even the old ones, they didn't bother to put out any new missions for any of the Red Zones. What if it's for the movie edition, for GT, Wicked Bloodlines? We did just had Red Ribbon Armies one, so I didn't think they would put any new missions on that. But I thought it was just very surprising. I really thought it was so surprising that they did not bring back a lot of these, especially Red Zone. And I can't lie, man. I have other stuff to do on the game because I gotta be just awakening other characters. But this is the thing that I usually do on my own time. On my own time, usually I just go back. Wait, I'm going the wrong way, and I just fuck around on Fighting Legends Goku and Vegeta. That's really what I just do in my own free time because I just like events like that, or just events where I can actually do a bit of team building and just have some fun because I just don't like playing certain stages where I'm restricted to use a very specific team or characters just to beat it. But I can't lie, I'm a bit bored. And like I said, I am not a content creator that focuses on showing out showcase or a content creator that focuses on showcases for units because one, I'm not always guaranteed to get them. Two, I just don't have the money to put a lot of stones out to get them. So yeah, and back to the subreddit, I wanted to show off what some people were thinking about. I got shafted, so okay, let's not look at that one. I was actually shocked when I saw no new boss rush. It's just the first anniversary. Okay, that part, I mean, what? But yeah, I mean, I didn't even realize most of this stuff at first because I was just so focused on, I didn't even mean to do that. Because I was just so focused on getting new characters, but it completely just slipped my mind for some reason. And I didn't know that we got some new producer. I didn't even hear about this, but yeah. And then soon you're going, oh, I was thinking the same thing. Sure enough, the GT Red Zone makes no sense, but they could just made a MBS Red Zone, yeah. And then here I'm starting to see a couple of people talking about how Legends feels like. Because I've seen a couple celebrations for Legends, and it's like jack shit, if anything. So it's like, well, yeah. I'm kind of hoping it's not really going to go down like that, but we'll have to see then. 7-year didn't have Infinite Dragon Ball history, which is true, it didn't. I don't think those count as any. This I absolutely do not agree with. So what his point is basically saying is that these events like Infinite Dragon Ball history, Boss Rush, and like other events he probably would have mentioned aren't really anniversary content, which is fucking bullshit because you just gotta look back at previous ones. At least, especially like the Boss Rush, that one is like damn near a staple for these types of events. But yeah, that one I can't fully agree with full on. Yeah, there may also be just a red zone burnout. We did just get more with Superhero Celebration. I mean, I can't see how when they've been doing it the entire year, so I don't know if I can agree with that. But yeah, how was Boss Rush and IDBH not anniversary content? They always are, yeah. Especially Boss Rush. People get way too high. People get too high for expecting at least the same as the previous anime. Alright, this might be the first anniversary where I don't feel hyped. Sure, unit animations are good, and the EZAs we might get are amazing. I just don't feel it. I think I mentioned this in like a couple previous Dokkan videos ago, where I just was never hyped regardless, especially when they mentioned that it wasn't gonna. Or we assumed that it wasn't gonna be like a full-on Goku shit, and then looky here, but I was just never hyped to begin with for some reason. Maybe it's because I was really looking forward to see what they were going to do if they actually weren't going to be doing much Goku in this one. Maybe they focus more on Broly or Gohan or something. But instead this, which, let me say this though, the animations though on these units are fucking stellar. They are amazing. But in general, I was just never hyped. I really just wasn't there. And I don't know at that point. Yeah, from what I see so far, part 1 is dead. Outside of the banners, who cares about the free-to-play units? Yeah, I mean, who cares about these free-to-play units? Because one, they're going to suck regardless, which is the unfortunate part, because it wasn't like this forever. Back then, free-to-play units were actually pretty useful, and most of the time now we're getting free-to-play units. They're kind of jack shit, really, which sucks. So there's that, and not to mention, it's not like they're full kits out, because we know most of these units are going to get an EZA at some point. Hell, we don't even have Bobby in this LR state as well yet, though. So yeah, and like I said, even like with older content, they're fucking unusable, truthfully. Probably bad anyway, even if they are decent. Better options to use over them in any team they are on anyhow. And the Shadow Dragon event is just a pay-to-win event anyway. It's not a pay-to-win event yet, and he's talking about this event right here, which is basically the red zone versions, I'm assuming, because once part 3 comes and they release the last bit of stages for them, it's going to be hard as a bitch. But yeah. Truth is gonna say this is the greatest celebration in history, even though it's just part 1 at the moment. I mean, yeah, it's just a pay to win anyway. It's not yet. I mean, I don't even know how. I don't even know. We have to see how it goes in part 3 when they release the final bit of missions for it, because who knows? Maybe it might be as hard as possibly the Gods event, how it was back then, where it's gonna be tough, but you can complete it. Or it may be as tough as Red Zone stages in Cell Max. We'll have to see. We have no idea yet. I don't mind not having Red Zone. I don't need to go crazy with some RNG filled bullshit event. That is true, but at the same time, it's something at the very least. It's something, even though it is bullshit. I 1000% agree on that. RNG filled bullshit, you mean like the rest of the fucking game? Like legit, what makes Red Zone RNG fun bullshit, but other content isn't. SBR can either start you just fine or fuck you over when you're starting with takes that you're forced to use items. Not to mention, you can't predict where the hits will be, where the super attacks will be. All of Dokkan, yes, fuck RG. Red Zone haters are some of the genuine copium. The thing is, yeah, Red Zone. Red Zone isn't the first really, because Super Battle Road and Extreme Super Battle Road is literal. Well, really, Super Battle Road. That was the one where this RNG filled bullshit of this guy somehow really started. That I can definitely say. There are some events where it doesn't really have to be full on RNG-ish, and then again, the whole game is based off of RNG, which every gacha game is. But not every event is like that. Really, the main ones I can think of off the top of my head is obviously SBR, ESBR, yeah, and then obviously Red Zone and Cell Max, without question, and that certain cooler event, which I forgot about, yeah. Is when we'll see the anniversary really kick in. So far, I counted about 600 stones attainable from free from start of any to the end of login bonus, not including potential EVAs, yeah. I mean, the Shadow Dragon event, similar to Red Zone, is tough content. You can get 5 stones for completing. And we got 3 stages, plus, plus 8 missions, so we get 20, yeah. It's for sure no new hard events being out, but I'm sure 2 weeks everyone's gonna be saying the best celebration ever. I hope so, because how did the second part, and I think that's the last comment I'm gonna look at before I go to over here. What did the second part entail? We had 2 different EZA events with 4 characters being EZA, the God units plus Gogeta and Omega Shenron. We got obviously more stages, more missions as well for Goku and the Vegeta events, the top banners, and that's pretty much it. Again, good amount of content that you could that will still keep you very fucking busy, especially with the amount of EZAs that they were giving us in the red zones, the missions for the Fighting Legends event. So yeah, but that's really all I wanted to talk about as far as that goes. So I don't know if I'm the only one that's just like that, that just kind of feels a little bit bored out of it, because there's not really anything to do like that in part 1. Again, I'm not a showcase person, so you got to put that put that in account. I'm like other players that just doesn't do showcases like that, so yeah. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on that, and let's get right over to this part. So I want to check out some of the comments. So again, the tweet, name one thing you don't like about Dokkan. The fact it gets boring so fast. Now this can vary, because either you're trying to beat the events like right there in that one sitting, or not, because that's gonna play a big part of that. Because if you're trying to beat everything, like all those events of part 1 that we saw for the 7-year anniversary, if you try to beat that all in one day, then sure, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, at the same time, there are a ton of events out there in Dokkan where it shouldn't be that hard for them to just actually bring them back and do more with them. Again, we got 3 Fighting Legends events. 3 events that for some reason they have the hardest time ever bringing it back with new missions to do. They do it because, and I have a big problem with this, because Super Battle Road, all that is whatever category it is, use it. And what they're doing is basically every month for both Super and Extreme, they're giving us a new stage with a new category to be using. Why can't they do that with these 3 Fighting Legends event? I don't see why. You also had the Infinite Dragon Ball History one. Now this one's a bit of like an iffy one because this is more focused around like themes and shit. So fair enough to that. I mean, to that one, I guess, really. So they can't just throw this one out every time because they use these for like certain theme celebrations, I guess. The God and Destructions event, they haven't brought this back. It's been like a one and done thing, which honestly sucks. I feel like they could definitely put out more missions, and all it is just like a one and done thing, which sucks. I mean, they can definitely do a lot with it. I mean, all of these stages were very unique, and it's not like everyone's different. Some you can do something where some you can do another. This was one of the more interesting events that I'm honestly looking back on, and thought that it was actually not as bad as I thought, especially considering that it's not like Red Zone or a lot of other stages where you have to have a specific team as such. Even if you didn't have the 6-year anniversary units, the Goku and the Vegeta, you were still able to beat a handful of these stages so long as you've been playing the game for a pretty good long time. Collection of epic battles, again, another prime example of this. We first got this during the worldwide download or the download celebration when Goku and Frieza came out, and then they finally brought this back. When did they bring this back? I think last month. I think they finally brought it back, and then that's it. I mean, I don't get why are these things like a one and done type of thing? Is there anything else? That's pretty much it. So that's pretty much one problem that I do have with that. It's like, you have all these events, fucking use them. Don't just use it like a one and done thing, or just pick and choose. Who wants that shit? That's not content at all to keep us busy. Yeah. Being 6 months behind Japan. I mean, I used to be a global player, but then I joined JP at one point. was playing global and JP at one point, but then I decided, let me just stay with JP because 1, the hype, and 2, compensation is just 10 times better. I have not regretted it. I mean, I know that some people just don't want to do it because they want to understand what the text that they're reading is shit, but look, I think at this point it's just very unlikely, at least for now, that they are just going to actually just join them up to the same time. So my thing to just say is either just come and play in JP, or just own one global and one JP account, or just don't worry about it and just live with it, because I am someone that used to play global. I can't even speak Japanese, but because of the hype and better compensation, I decided to switch over to JP, and I have not regretted it ever since. I truly have not regretted it ever since. I've loved my decision on leaving global and just coming here. I have not regretted it. So I really don't have much sympathy as far as like with that, because you have a choice to do it, and if you don't want to come over, then all right, live with it then. Because if I'm fine with them joining both of them, both global and JP. It should just one at the same timeline, but they're not going to, it seems so far. So fucking make a decision and just stay with it and just don't complain about it. And that's one of the things that I do say that though, because I normally wouldn't say that to not complain about anything, not complain about anything, but I mean, you got a choice. This is one of the ones where I just don't understand, truthfully. I am open for discussion, by the way, as long as you're being respectful. Content cycle is way too slow. I generally have no idea how anyone can play Dokkan as a main gacha when mid/end game players get one relevant event per month, 2 or 3 if they're lucky, or if it's a big celebration like Worldwide Celebration or any. Again, this is something I was talking about before. You got all these tough ass events, and you can't even make use of any of them every single month. It's honestly the most ridiculous thing ever. We are probably not going to see where was it? I was just looking at that. We are probably never going to see this event again for a very long time, or for a good couple years. It's stuff like this where it's like, y'all are making these events, fucking use them to your advantage. Like, come on. Dokkan events haven't been hard. Yeah, I was back in the old days. Dokkan events was like so tough. I definitely remember that. I do miss them times though, but I mean, I don't really care much because they're obviously trying to have like separate content to be very hard. So yeah. The one thing I don't like is how many of the categories just died because of one. Oh yeah, because of one, lack of new release, and 2, having a poor selection or leader. For example, Movie Heroes got 4 leaders this year, but there are some teams that barely have 150 or higher leader skill. Giant Form went over 3 or 4 years before getting above 150% leader, and even then it was the original leader for the category. Final Trump Card, Worthy Rivals, and All Out Struggle to this day only have 150% leader skills. They have been improving, but we need more leaders. I don't even know if it's the fact that we need more leaders, but it's just the fact that I don't like the fact that how we gotta keep making a damn new category damn near every single fucking year. I don't understand it for the life of me. Now, they haven't been doing that much for the second half of last year, and even with like the last celebration, which I am super happy about, because there are plenty of categories here where 1, they just need a lot more love, and 2, they just don't need to be a fucking thing. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can actually find some. So. Or is it not Power? Let's look at Power Wishes. This is the one that came out this year. I heard like mixed things about this. What the fuck do you want me to do with this What do you want me to do with this category? What do you want me to do with Power of Wishes? We got Fuse Fighters now. Fuse Fighters should have been the Fusions. Fusions is just the actual Patar. It's just a Patar dance and that EX shit. Fuse Fighters is the actual fusion category because we got all the fusions, including the Android ones and the big ones, Pataras. I don't like Fuse Fighters should have been the original fusion one. Majin Power. Where is Majin Vegeta? It's in his damn name. He has the M on there. Where's Spokovich and Yamu? What in the world? All Out Struggle, like what in the hell do you want me to do with All Out Struggle? And this is again one of the things he was talking about. We have no let's even just excluding LR leaders. We don't even have like a regular TUR leader, because the thing with LRs is that you don't have the best chance of getting those types of leaders. You have a better chance of getting TUR Dokkan Fest units compared to LRs. So you have certain categories that are just lacking on leaders or just lacking on the roster in general. It's stuff like that that I don't understand, and it's been mainly like this for like the second half of the categories that we're having. Some of them just don't even need to be here. They just need to be working on the first couple ones, or they just hammered down so fucking hard on like certain categories and not on some of the other ones. Look how small Super Saiyan 2 is. Like, what is this? What do you want me to do with this small category? So yeah, I absolutely do agree with him with the fact about how we got these and also here's the other thing as well. Let's go back to the Super Saiyan 2 one, because how they be doing these power spikes or explosions for these events. Most of these characters you just can't run on these newer types of events, but you can for some older ones if you're trying to have fun though, like I do. The problem is most of the more than half of the players on JP really run some of these order units. Like, I am not going to see much of this Maj Vegeta as a leader. I'm not going to see much of him being a leader. Let's go to another category that I know I'm really going to see any. But this dude is a ghost. I have never seen him as a friend ever. That's the thing as well. So then you try to do some of these events or try to use some of these teams, but because of just how like these fights or explosions are, you're not going to see units like that at all, which is insane. So yeah, that most of summons are just like the same, like 6 characters in different poses. Yeah, I mean, look, man, you and me both. I mean, one thing I am happy about last year is that they have been putting out more variety in the units they've been putting out, between the likes of Videl, Yamcha, Captain Ginyu, Pan. And I know there are like certain players out there that aren't really like fond of that, but I just gotta say, fuck you. Like, truthfully, fuck you. Because we do not need to keep having these all these big Super Saiyans or villains. This is a big ass card game. We can't just, I mean, I get that Super Saiyans and like these big time villains sell good, yeah, but sometimes you just gotta have a bit of variety to switch things up a bit. And I think that's a pretty cool thing. I was so happy when a lot surprised, but I was also very happy about when we got like a Videl, for example. I mean, that's pretty fucking good, yeah. How about Pan? That was also really big time as well. And I also I'm starting to admire the side characters more, like this Pan as well, for example, because again, it's not like these big flashy ass units, but it's units that you can still be using in general. So yeah, I am ranting so much right now. Tedious grinding EZAs. I mean, every game has that. I don't like when I pay for a unit and get them on release and they age out within a year. Yeah, this is the big thing that I really, yeah, the power spikes and explosions that this game has is just fucking ridiculous. As much as I love the 7-year anniversary we had last year, it was so stupid how between the characters releasing plus Red Zone, it was fucking insane, yeah. The lack of a true pity system. I don't understand how we are 8 years into this game and we have yet to still got an actual pity system. To anybody that says that we will get it at some point, no, when is that when? Because it's been like 8 years. When is it? 8 years, 9 years, 10 years? I think they did like a whole live stream talking about it, and they basically said in just short terms, no, we don't have no plans on doing a pity system, which is fucking crazy. And the coin system, for anybody that's trying to defend that is not a pity system at all. 50 summons. And it's not like you can get those units. You gotta wait a couple months to get those units anyway. So that's not a pity system by any stretch of the means. And by the time you do get them, whenever they do return after a couple months, who knows if people are gonna be using them like that, but at that point, or how they will be for the events nowadays now. Especially nowadays. Red Zone. I hate what it's done to the game's balance and how it rendered 99% of the units obsolete. My box is in a big trophy case now, except for units who released or EZ'd or after the 7th anniversary. Yeah, that is the unfortunate thing, man. I mean, this is one of the big reasons why I never liked the Red Zone after part 3 of the 7-year anniversary. It fucked with the game balancing, because even with how broken the gods and the Super Saiyan 4s were, it was still no match, or damn near no match, for these Red Zone stages, especially Broly. And they haven't done any better afterwards with the game balancing, because we had Cell Max. Both the Android or Wicked Bloodline stuff was just outright stupid. This Cell Max stage right here, Wicked Bloodline's the last stage, and where is it again? And then this Wicked Bloodline stage, this extra one, Godku will get you killed. I've never seen a day in my life. I never seen a day it would happen when Goku would become fucking useless, and that entire year he became so useless that entire year. It's crazy. I hate how you can go Winks without Link. Oh yeah. To be fair, they have done keys, so I will give them that. It's just summoning, grinding, awakening, none of this all just boring and such. Yeah. Yeah. Our ultimate go on. They fumbled it back with that. There is this stuff to do after you beat the game content. Like I said, there was plenty of stuff there. But they just don't do it for some reason. And I think I'm gonna end this off here because this is probably a very long ass video to the point where I have no idea if I'm going to edit this out or not. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. This was a lot of ranting. I already know this was a lot of ranting, probably a bit of a negative video, but this was a video at the same time for someone that's been playing Dokkan for such a long time. I kind of want to just talk about like the downsides of this game. Maybe I might do a more structured video to where I could hopefully some devs will see what I'm could hear some of my points out. But this is just basically, I am basically a fan like like every one of you out there. I am a fan of this game. I've been playing this game for damn near 8 years now, and I want this game to continue doing great, obviously, but there are just things where they can definitely do way better on. It's not like every game is perfect, but you can work up to being perfect. And there are just things where I feel like they just gotta work better on. I am curious to see how they do this year, because last year was interesting to say the least. But yeah, that's about it though. So I'm gonna end up this video now. Hope y'all had a good time listening to me rant and shit. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button as well as subscribe and hit that bell notification. I will see y'all next time. Y'all take care. Have a good one. Hope y'all are getting some good pulls in the 8th year anniversary banners, because I sure as fuck am not. And I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a good one. Peace.